Hello and welcome back, everyone. Today I've got a cool gardening project to share with you. We're going to be taking one of those everyday fabric growing pots, all the rage these days for gardeners, and turning it into a concrete growing container. This is so easy to do. It takes all but a couple minutes and just a couple dollars. Check it out. What I really love about this style of pot is that it has a more natural, almost rustic appearance that fits in better in the garden than a fabric pot, in my opinion. And there's so many different ways that you can decorate and make it your own. You can paint them, you can doodle designs on them. I could see some potential other creative uses for a concrete pot like this. For example, you could invert it, turn it upside down, cut a hole in it, turn it into a small doggy or kitty home. What do you think, Rox? One of the main reasons these fabric grow pots work so well for this project is because the material is completely connected. It's circular, so once we fill it with our growing medium, our soil, and plant it out, any pressure on the sidewalls is not going to deform or weaken the structure. So there really is no need to put in some chicken wire or concrete mesh and concrete over that in order to strengthen it. So you only need two items to complete this project. One being a fabric grow pot. I'm using a 30-gallon pot here, but you could use any size to complete this project. And you're also going to need some Portland cement. You're going to want to use this over other bagged concrete and cement products, as it's virtually lump-free. There are no rocks or pebbles in here that will interfere, as we're going to be creating a thick mixture similar to a cake batter, which is going to absorb into the fabric pot. Alright, so the first step is going to be to create some sort of a mold that you can then drape over your fabric bag once it's completely soaked in the cement. I'm using some concrete reinforcement wire, and then I just draped a garbage bag over the top for easy removal of the pot once it dries. But you can get creative with this and use just about anything depending on the size bag. Maybe you'll flip a garbage can upside down or a bucket. The main thing is that you put a coating of plastic around it, whether it's a garbage bag or some drop cloth. That way, when your concrete soaked fabric pot completely dries, you can remove it easily. So this would be a good time to cut out some drainage holes in the bottom of your fabric as well. Once it's hardened with concrete, your only option is going to be to drill through with a masonry bit. For this example, I'm just going to cut one larger hole right in the center of the pot. I'm also going to remove the handles by just cutting those away as well. It's up to you if you want to leave them, if you think that they'll remain functional. So I'm just going to use this cement mixing container you can find at the big box stores. You could use a wheelbarrow, what have you. And all we're going to use is about a quarter of one of these 47-pound bags for the 30-gallon pot. And we'll add in our water slowly. I'm just going to use my gloved hands to mix this up. And what you don't want is an overly soupy mix. What you want is more of a cake batter consistency. Just take an extra minute to get all the lumps out here. It's just going to give you a nice finish on your bag. No big chunks. All right, that's looking pretty good right there. We're just going to take our pot and begin to completely soak it up with all this cement. And we'll turn it around inside out. And once you got everything soaked pretty well, you just want to go over by hand and just kind of rub everything in as if you're putting some rub on a steak. Just work that cement right into the material. I like to mainly focus on working the inside of the fabric while it's in this container, as once I pull it out, I'm going to drape it over the frame that I built and only have access to the outside. I can touch it up then. And this would be the time, if you want to create a little textured finish, you could use a little paintbrush or something like that and do some brush strokes on the outside. But all you need is your hands. And that's all there is to it, my friends. Very easy. We're now just going to allow this to dry, cure for the next 24 hours before we remove it from that frame underneath. Alright, so after just 24 hours, we're now ready to go ahead and add in some soil into our new concrete container garden and plant it out. I do recommend that you locate where it is that you want to have this new bed set up in your garden throughout the growing season before taking on this next step. You don't want to be lugging around a big heavy pot, and it's going to be better for the longevity of our new container garden here if we don't attempt to move it around once it is full of soil. Alright, so I filled my container here with an outdoor potting mix, and this will hold approximately 4.5 cubic feet of a mostly dry mix, or 96 quarts. So I'm happy to have this bed now ready to go, and being as we're still in winter time, I'm not going to plant this out. We're still getting below freezing at night here, so I'm going to wait a little while. In the meantime, I think I'll make a few more of these and place them strategically throughout the garden where I want to add a little bit of contrast. And something else worth mentioning on this video is that cement or concrete can actually raise the pH right where the soil touches the container. So I wouldn't recommend putting acid-loving plants like blueberries, for example, in a concrete or cement pot. But just about everything else is going to do well in here. So that's going to do it for this project. I hope you found it helpful or entertaining in some way. If so, be sure to smash that thumb button for us. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads every week, sometimes every day. And I'm always giving you updates on all the different things growing on around here. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a good rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.